G'day, Geoff Lewis here from Seriously Series, and welcome to another episode in our series Just Adventures. Here today in this conversation I'm going to be chatting with the team that is Mitch and Jess from Wandering Aus, and they've certainly done that. But they haven't done it in the regular fashion, nor have they traversed those typical routes, no. And this has a lot to do with the family roots and the upbringing of both of them, but in particular Mitch himself, because that family is synonymous with the vehicle behind me here, the mighty Land Rover. So if you want to come and wander across Oz with myself, Mitch and Jess and more, then you know what to do. Sit back, relax, grab yourself a brew or something slightly stronger, but most importantly, stay tuned. Today I'm joined here by the team that is Wandering Aus Adventures, and thanks Mitch and Jess for taking the time to have a chat with us here today.
Thanks, Geoff.
Thank
Appreciate
you.
it.
And obviously you've had a great Christmas and New Year. You're ready for some big adventures this year, but sadly there's probably a few people that haven't come across your fantastic videos yet. So how would you best describe your style of adventure, and how would you explain what your channel and videos offer to someone who hasn't seen them before?
Yeah, I suppose our videos came about through watching other people, I suppose, and knowing we were doing similar and had some hobbies in photography and videography and bits and pieces. So I think probably our style would be we keep it real. I suppose we don't try and glorify places or locations or destinations or trips or anything like that. I think we try and keep it as real as possible. And our videos have come a long way. Looking back at our first viewer, always interesting viewing nowadays. But yeah, we like to think we take some pretty high quality shots and create some pretty decent quality videos these days. And that's our aim, is just to share some pretty awesome localities of the lucky country that we live in.
Yeah, definitely. And obviously the way that you travel is pretty simple compared to most people out there on the market today. You know, massive caravans and fifth and sixth and goodness knows probably 8-wheelers, you know.
Wheelers, yeah.
So I think that's really good with your videos too. And as you say, you show it as you see it, basically. You don't Photoshop the flies out of the that are on top of the damper or anything.
That's
like
it.
that,
No.
you know?
It's all part and parcel.
It is. So this whole sort of side of doing video and photography, as you said, it's an interest of you both. But where was sort of the real push to start actually turning these into videos and start sharing them with people? Because that's a pretty big gutsy move to actually make that step, put yourself out there.
Yeah, we were already doing it anyway, weren't we? We were videoing, taking pictures. We just kind of needed somewhere to put it. So
yeah,
we just decided, why not share it with everyone else and get everyone else out traveling. I think when we started doing it was like COVID, was it? Or start of
COVID. So we sort of made the decision that we were going to do some more filming and a bit more of the talkie at camera bit, which we hadn't obviously done. We'd done the video and the photo while we were away.
Yeah.
And the talkie bit, and then COVID came. So ruined everything. So
it was okay. Like, it did ruin everything initially, but then later on, at least it got people to get out traveling their own backyard and stuff like that. Like, it made it a priority for other people and us especially.
We were really lucky because we were in South Australia. Things opened up quite quickly, so we were supplying content to the people that were in lockdown in New South Wales and Victoria for weeks and weeks and months and all sorts. So we felt pretty privileged to be able to do that, and that probably saw a bit of a quick incline for our our channel and our content, which was good for us. But it meant we could pay back, I suppose, to those people that were stuck. So,
definitely. And I think, we all would have seen through the social media sphere, particularly YouTube, if you're like me, you go through your comments and obviously see what people are wanting more of or less of. Yes, and particularly with that time, I recollect, a lot of people found it, a way of escaping. If you're stuck in a house, the first thing you want to do is turn on one of your videos and get lost in the South Australian outback. So
that's
it's
great, and 100%. Stuff. And we were pretty lucky. We had lots of freedom in South Australia to get around the middle. So, we've got quite a decent border that we could get around. So, we were quite lucky in that regard. So no, we found ourselves pretty lucky through that. But I suppose, rolling some hobbies together. Photography was always a bit of a thing in high school, and videography was something that sort of came a little bit with that. With the increase in technology, as
yes,
hand of young people, and especially us when we were going through school. So it sort of just evolved, I suppose. And one day we were putting videos on YouTube and seeing what they were going to do, and here we are 3 years later.
Went from there. And do you share a similar interest, Jess, or is
I do
kind of just brainwashed you? I have to ask,
I do. The more we've done it, though, I think the more interested I've become. Like, Mitch is like definitely the talented one out of both of us.
I'm the talker, that's the problem.
Yeah,
I'm sure people would argue otherwise. But yes.
So he definitely started with the passion for like photography and stuff. So he's basically taught me everything. But as we've kind of gone over the years, it's definitely become a little bit more interesting, and I've learned a lot more. And now we do a bit more together as well. So
Jess prefers being the subject of the videography or the photography. And or taking the photos and the videos, but not so much the talking at them. That's something. But that doesn't. I'm a teacher, so like talking at things and people comes second nature to me. But it's not for Jess, so it's something that took a little bit to work to, but she's better than she thinks she is.
No, you do a very good job, Jess. And look, it's something that it's quite hard to sort of get your head around. People have different sort of techniques and all the rest, as you would both know. Some people just pretend the camera is just someone standing there and they're just chewing their ear off to the camera, and that's why they can waffle on for 30 minutes and still not get to the point. So it's always a bit of a tough one there too. So you said you're a teacher, Mitch, and obviously you've just come off night shift, Jess, absolute legend. And paramedic, is that?
Yeah, paramedic, yeah.
So you've got these jobs and they're quite demanding and would be quite stressful at times. How do you fit in this, everything else you're doing? It's a lot to sort of keep on top of.
It's hard.
It is, and it is a balance. And I suppose it's easy. At the start, we thought it was going to be probably easier. We'll go away, we'll take some photos, we'll create some content, we'll come back and edit some videos together, and we'll put it up on YouTube, and that's simple. But it's far more demanding than that. But we love it.
Finding time together, finding time off together. We didn't realize how much we'd be like working.
It's definitely a balance, but why we got to where we got and why we go away in the first place is it's our stress relief.
Oh yeah.
As you said, two stressful, high demand jobs, and you need a way out. You need an outlet, and this is ours. And it means that when we come back and we've got videos to edit and photos to edit. We get to relive that. And it's another stress relief. It's like I've done my marking. I can just go down and lock down and play with some photos because that's fun to do. So it's sort of it's a stress relief that keeps coming and giving, and it's a good way of breaking it up. But it means we prioritize it too. So
just about to say, although it's hard to find time off together, we always make sure we prioritize it now that we're kind of doing this, like videoing it, photographing it, like all that sort of stuff. We always make it a priority to get away. It's good, like good for us.
And that's the thing too. because there's more and more platforms out there, and they're changing. Like YouTube Shorts, they came in a couple of years ago. So there's more and more stuff that is being demanded of particularly social media. So do you find with trips you'll go, right, we're not filming on this trip, or you'll make time there, or
I'm just going to have a really good cough, Geoff. We'll do
that. You go ahead. You go ahead, Mitch. Jess can hold the fort. But it's a tough balancing act, and I guess with your work being a paramedic too, as we've said, you've got the night shift, you've got the long shifts there too.
For sure.
Obviously, you get a pretty good roster, I would imagine, if you're lucky.
Yeah, sure do. Yeah, we get a fair bit of time off, and I get the flexibility to kind of like swap leave blocks, swap shifts. So I've done a heap of swaps with other people just to line up with his teacher school holiday. So
3 months off a year and then some.
No, I can't even get that off. That would be nice. But oh gosh. But yeah, in regards to like the filming sort of things, like there are a few trips here and there where we will kind of say that we're not filming for the first few days, or like days in between, just to kind of have a bit of a break, and we might have some like editing days as well where we're just not filming and we're just doing that. But because we don't go on as many trips as we like, we normally try and film every single trip we go on. Hey, so
yeah, mostly. Like we made a conscious decision over Christmas and New Year's that
to not film.
We were just going to go away and enjoy. We took a few photos and bits and pieces, but
we,
as much as we make going away and creating content a priority, we also need to just have a bit of time. So, we've got lots of content at the moment that we've got a bit of a backlog at the moment, so we're not desperate to pump stuff out, and we're probably not chasing. I suppose it's not for us. It's not, especially for our YouTube. We're not chasing. We're not looking to make it full time or anything like that. It's just still a hobby channel, I suppose. So
we're not, as much as we'd love to make it full time one day, but it's just not. That's not a now thing. So
not at all.
Yeah.
No, but you wouldn't say no if you woke up tomorrow morning and you had 5 million subscribers and 20 million views a month. Just as I wouldn't say no if I tripped over a gold nugget. So no, I think that's pretty amazing. Having the jobs that you do, you've obviously seen the opportunity there, how you can do your filming, still maintain, things on the home front, so to speak, and then obviously, pursue this passion, which hopefully becomes a profession down the track. So we'll wait and see. Watch this space.
Yes, exactly.
So I guess you've done all this travel and, we've come this far. We've got to talk about the Ford Ranger. That's your weapon of choice, you could say.
Yes.
Where did this sort of journey start with the Ford Ranger? Because
this is our third. This is our third Ford Ranger. Our first one was a 2009 space cab. That then had a tub and then had a tray and then sort of evolved and back from basics. That was the first sort of range we had together. But they've just always been a reliable vehicle for us to be able to take away. My family heritage is all about Land Rovers, so break the mold a little bit, I suppose. But
not too quiet at Christmas.
Yeah, that's it. But no, it's they've been good cars. All three of our ranges have been really good. So we went from there to a 2016 dual cab, the 3.2 litre 5-cylinder Ranger, the PX, and that was really good. Another really great car, and that took us 3/4 of the way around Australia and across the Len Beadell, and that was a good car. And we've just recently upgraded in the last few months to the new next gen Ranger. With the V6 in it, so and the 10-speed gearbox. We're looking forward to taking that out and testing that and seeing what its capabilities are. And this year's going to be a good year for that, I reckon.
Yeah.
Forward to it.
And that's a huge milestone. You know, not many people get to buy a brand new vehicle, let alone, get it out as you have.
Yeah. Our very first new car, so that was nice and fancy.
Yeah. Well, look, I think everyone should have a new car at least once in their life. And I guess with all the work that's gone into it, is there a particular trip that you have in mind for it, or?
Yes. So we're gearing up the car up, making sure everything's ticking and working, and all the shakedowns are done, ready for June, July, where we're doing the Gun Barrel Highway and the Sandy Blight Junction Road.
Oh, fantastic.
So that should be a really great trip to test out.
Yeah.
Yeah. And a great time of year to be doing it too.
Yeah.
You know, not too hot. You get some really nice sunsets that time of year too.
Yeah.
So from a photography point of view, it's just
can't
amazing.
Wait. The desert oaks out there and the red sand dunes are just beautiful.
But I guess that leads on to our next question there. So obviously, a lot of your travel is in South Australia. Obviously, you've ventured over to Western Australia too, but they're all on these tracks that have these Beadell bits on them, and that funny guy called Len.
Yeah.
Is there an association with that? Is there a reason why you have to travel on these roads, Jess?
Well, we don't have to, I suppose, but the family had stopped inviting me to Christmas, I reckon. No, not quite. No, Len Beadell was my grandfather. So a very lucky connection that I have to be able to share. And I'm pretty proud. I've always been a proud grandson, I suppose, of the work that he did, and being able to explore that and grow up exploring those tracks was always fun. Had fond memories doing so. So to be able to then share that with Jess, and now I've been able to share that through a platform that we've been able to build together, is really exciting. So yeah, we're loving it. It's some gorgeous country. It's hard. It's rugged. It's isolated. But heck, if you're prepared and you're set up, it's rewarding, and it's really
for sure.
Some great history and legacy to be able to share with people.
And do you find now that you're a little bit older yourself, you're both out there redoing these roads that you've probably done a dozen times or more, Mitch, every school holidays, let's go do another one of Granddad's roads. But are you finding it a different experience for you? Are you sort of getting more of an appreciation of what he did? And I guess from your point of view, Jess, how do you find the connection and the experience for you?
Well, last year was probably the first time I went out there. Hey, the first time you took me out there finally. And it was absolutely amazing. Like, just obviously now being like older myself, like he's always told me so many stories about the history and all that sort of stuff, but I never really 100% understood it. But then obviously when you go there and like you see it for yourself, and it's just I found it amazing, and it just kind of put everything into perspective, I guess. Like it all makes sense now, but it was really beautiful, and I can't wait to get back out there.
Tell people that he created a network of roads in the middle of nowhere, and there's one road that goes from Coober Pedy across to WA and Laverton. They don't really know the concept of what that is. No. That's 1,400 Ks of like hard country that we can drive across fairly easily nowadays, but back in the day it was him and a team, no GPS, no specific technology, testing out brand new features on Land Rovers if they sort of design them for purpose, for his purpose. I remember him telling a story, and not so to me because I was so small, but re-watching a story of him talking about when they first designed a winch for the front of his car, and the concepts that they had to go through before it was suitable for use. That sort of stuff, like putting the story and showing, magnifying that into reality to go like, this is the sort of country that they were traversing.
And
it's
I think the other thing is too, like you say, 1,400 kilometers, that's just numbers.
That's it.
And I've certainly found with the magazines that I write for in the UK, and obviously having shown our films elsewhere, that unless you give some kind of comparison of where that is in relation to how far across Europe or America.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
People can't really gauge, the sheer distance, let alone, as you've said, Jess, gain any kind of perspective unless you've been out there yourself. And it is tough country. It is tough country.
It is.
But traveling isn't the only thing Mitch has done. You've done a bit of traveling too in your childhood too, Jess, haven't you?
Little bit, nothing as remote as he has.
No, it's pretty hard to one up that. Yeah.
It is, yeah. But otherwise, yeah, I've done a fair bit, I guess.
Yeah.
Well, you grew up doing, so whilst I grew up doing all the middle stuff, the remote stuff,
we did a lot of coastal stuff.
And going away as families and caravanning and tenting and all the rest of it. So two different styles of adventure and exploring the same country. And there's places that we rock up and I'm just like, oh, this is awesome. Just like, yeah, I've been here. So vice versa. So
absolutely.
We get to share that together.
Yeah.
Well, that's it. It complements and it means you've both got the same interest too, which is what it's all about. Exactly. So that's really, really good. So I guess, you've done the Len Beadell roads, you've explored a bit of the coast, but would there be one place in the world, if money was no option, that you'd love to take the Ranger and go and explore?
Kimberley's for me.
Kimberley's? What about you, Jess?
Kimberley's. That's a really hard one.
Yeah, it is. I'll give you two. How about
Can
two?
I just be very vague and say
sure.
The whole Western Australia side?
Okay. You can go further abroad.
Because we haven't we've done a lot of the centre, but we haven't done much of the coastal stuff of WA. So we're planning on doing a few months up there.
Yeah.
I don't know when, but in the next year or so. So it'll happen, but we haven't really explored much of that side of WA yet. So
looking forward to it. The Kimberleys are just everything you hear, read, see of WA, the Kimberleys, right down through the Pilbara and down the coast is just absolutely stunning country. So we'd love to get over there and just spend lots of time and lap it up and take the time. Don't have to rush. That'd be really nice too. So that'd be the one.
No, the Kimberleys would be great. It's one of those last sort of, I can't really call it frontiers, but it's certainly a very remote pocket of the world that's becoming less and less and less elsewhere.
Yeah, that's it.
For sure. Yeah. Well, look, thank you both so much for your time. If people want to find out more about your great adventures and where you're going to next, whether it's WA or Kimberley's, how can they follow you? Where can they see your great work?
They can keep up to date with us on both Facebook and Instagram, and it's just Wandering Aus Adventures or Wandering Aus ADV. And then for any of our video content, you can find that on YouTube, and that's under Wandering Aus Adventures as well. So, more than happy for people to come and join the fun, and just another example of the type of travel you can do around Australia. And I suppose for us, it's about promoting that lifestyle, not only to people that are just starting to get out to that, but promoting young couples, I suppose, to get out of their hometown. Give it a crack. Doesn't have to be hard, doesn't have to be complicated, but heck, it's rewarding. So
definitely. And it's all about taking that first initial step, isn't it? 100%. From there, it doesn't matter where you end up as long as you can go.
Look,
thanks again, and we'll be sure to share all the links to your content on social media and more. And we'll definitely have to catch up later on down the track to see where your adventures take you. And maybe we can talk a little bit more about some of the Land Rover stories and all the rest to keep them really intrigued here.
No, that sounds good. We'll have to chat again in Adelaide next year at the show.
Sounds good. We'll catch you later. Thank you.
Thanks, Geoff. Appreciate it.